Good evening, this is Kuro. Got a tier 8 game in my tier 6 Aigle. The map is Neighbors Domination Battle. Going over the matchmaking, have an enemy Implacable. First time I've actually faced this CV, so kind of interesting to see what it'll be like. Have a Wichita for a radar threat. A Perth, which is a lot of close-in firepower on destroyers in and around the caps. Destroyer threats, the Kid is the #1 thing I don't really want to pick a fight with. Kagero and Fubuki. Right here, I love this spawn if I'm not with if it's not a CV battle. Being out isolated like this, I don't like this spawn. So first thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna start folding back in on my cruisers. And I see, oh, never mind, this CV, he led with torp bombers. Just watching to see where they're going. He's running them up towards CCAP, and to me that's gonna open up basically this seam here where I can start playing more like there's not a carrier up that's going to be up in my face on this cap. We do get important spots there from the CV. We find the Kid, I call target on him. With the Kid, the Perth, that's a lot of firepower for me up on B cap. One of my original plans was to see if I could get that Benson just to dump some smoke right in here for this Atago and Chapiev to use, where they could really punish these destroyers if they try to push into the caps. But it obviously that didn't happen, so just right now cruising in here, and I'm just waiting to see, you know, who's going what and where. Fubuki smoked up. I go ahead, I just drop torps. There's the Kid. And that hesitation in me actually taking a shot, that was me taking a look at the mini-map, and I'm looking to see if anybody can actually detect me once this Kid actually smokes up. And the reason for it, I don't want to have to use one of my 3 smoke screens right here. It's really not going to help me. The Fubuki gets spotted. It's worth it for me to shoot this guy. Fubuki screws up and he takes a shot at our Benson, and he's going to be going down here shortly. So I drop off instantly after the Fubuki dies. That tells me that the Kid's still in smoke. Call target on the Perth, and I see the Kid shooting from his smoke screen. I've got torps loading up, so just gonna throw some torps into that smoke, and I'm just gonna step on A cap. And my intent is picking a fight with this Kid. I know I said earlier that I don't want to, you know, really pick a fight, but he's used his smoke. I haven't. So I'm trying to, you know, bait a gunfight with this Kid where I'm gonna have a vision advantage and basically be able to farm him. And he didn't buy into it, so I'm just playing safe and dropping smoke. I also do have torp planes coming in here right now. I don't recommend CVs trying to drop DDs this way. If your planes are spotted, you're gonna really have a hard time hitting destroyers that are in smoke like this. Them French guns going to work. Aigle is just a really nice ship. Got another round of torpedoes coming. I do pick up the cap. I'm just going to go ahead, pop out, abandon this smoke, and start moving on. I've got fighters overhead. Excuse me. So CV's still trying to drop me, and I'm kind of happy that he's dropping me right now, because I'm right next to a Tirpitz. If he would be throwing torps out on this Tirpitz, he could be doing a lot of damage to a top tier battleship on my team. And right now he's basically just wasting a bunch of potential damage. And that's making me very happy. Pensacola's deciding he doesn't want none, and he's starting to turn north. And I'm just gonna get switched around, and I'm just gonna start pursuing these guys north. Driving this way to the cap. The CV's not there. You can tell with the way that the planes are flying. Excuse me. So there's nothing really in the enemy spawn that I really have to get to. And actually, honestly, I'm a little too deep already. I should be much closer to B-cap. But Aigle is pretty fast, so it's not the end of the world. So looking right now, I'm seeing some issues, and this is a big one right here. This Kagero going after our Lexington. I expect that our Lexington's going to be going down, and we're going to be without a CV rather early in the game. There goes... Oh, not yet. And there goes our Lexington. Don't know why he was pushing in like that, but that was just too aggressive. This is a really important moment. As soon as the King George went down, I get undetected. That's telling me that nobody is within 12.8 kilometers, except that Perth that pops out of the smoke, and that gives me a good kind of situational update on you know, what's around me. This Roma is starting to push up to B-cap, so I am gonna use my second smoke up here. I've got rocket planes coming in, and just gonna pop smoke. Gonna throw some torps out there, and just keep working on this Roma. And this is kind of the bread and butter of these French DDs, terrible included. Just the HE spam is, they're really good fire starters. Obviously Terrible doesn't have a smoke, but I find her to have absolutely fantastic guns, and you know, just very, very reliable at just picking ships apart and just setting multiple fires on them. This Roma eats a torp, he goes on ahead and repairs multiple fires. And, you know, just gonna keep right on chipping at this guy. Trying to get a fire on his bow. There it is. Try to hit the stern, and he ends up going down to torps from the Graf Spee. Now, complication. Cyclone's kicked in. I'm gonna pause it right here. Cyclone, cyclone, cyclone. Always the son of a bitch. Taking a look at the matchmaking, I'm not entirely thrilled. We do have a large advantage. We do have ships clumped together, but I don't like what I'm seeing here. I'm seeing a Tirpitz and a Grafspee headed north. This Dallas is pretty much out of the fight. Their York, I expect him to come down. Our Nagato and our New Mexico, I expect them to push kind of in this direction. And without a Cyclone, this would be a fantastic push because we would have crossfire between the multiple battleships. There'd be a lot of good things going on. But Cyclone, everybody's limited to pretty much 8 kilometers unless you're doing some tricky shit. And I'll talk to you about that in a second. But what's going to end up happening is my team is splitting up, and they're going to get picked apart by an enemy team that they are all pretty much converging right on CCAP, and they're going to be able to lay a hurting on my team. I do type in my team's chat, push together, guys, and it's just not going to happen. So I'm not in a big, huge hurry. I'm just advancing with my New Mexico. I just want to scout just a little bit ahead of these guys, see what's going on, give them a chance to, engage something, have turrets ready as soon as it pops up, that kind of thing. I see the Wichita. I'm expecting radar. I've got this nice, convenient island here for me to duck behind. Probably should have shot, but whatever. That was a little bit of a missed damage opportunity. Well, I'm just going to ride this radar out behind the island. Torp's going in there, kind of unlikely to hit. But now that radar's off, I'm looking to get back into this. So I'm starting to kite out. This Wichita was broadside, so I'd switched to AP. He's angled kiting away now, so switching back to HE. The Otago puts down our New Mexico. And he's just circling right around to try to do it on the Nagato. The Nagato puts him down before I can put AP into the Otago. So, you see how our advantage has already been whittled down to just a 1-ship advantage and 2 caps. And one of oh, this is important. I'm cheating. Okay. You see this circle here, that's clearly marked 8 kilometers. This Wichita is beyond it. He's probably 9.5, maybe 10 kilometers. Actually, probably 9 based on the the indicator here. But what I'm doing, the Nagato is probably the Tirpitz spotting him. I have vision. He shows up on my mini-map, and if you look closely at my mini-map, you see a circle down the bearing my guns are looking, and that circle is where my shells are basically going to impact on the water. What I'm doing, it sounds simple, and it does feel a little awkward until you get used to it. I'm basically taking that circle, I'm basically leading the silhouette of the ship on the mini-map, and I'll put the circle, on his bow, slightly in front of the bow, the center of the circle, and I'll use that as a reference point to aim at to shoot. And particularly with high DPM guns, where you've got shorter reloads, you can play around with this, and you can pull off some pretty silly results. You can see how I'm leading that right there, and you know, just something that might, you know, might help you out someday. Lost vision on the Wichita, so I can't keep shooting him. Now, the issue that I'm having, this Tirpitz now is all by himself. There's a Normandy, a Wichita, and Implacable that are all going to be focusing this guy down. And I expect that we're going to lose this Tirpitz, and we're going to be 3v3. Then with the Normandy coming, I expect we're going to lose our Graf Spee shortly thereafter. I can't shoot the Wichita, he's behind the island. I am starting to, and this is where some of the controversy in this game comes up. My team is thinking that I'm making a misplay, and I'm interested in your guys' thoughts behind this. There's a radar cruiser left in the game, a CV left in the game, and an enemy battleship. My thoughts are, if I can kill this Wichita, obviously that's good. But the real conundrum is, I think that we're going to lose our Nagato too. Nagato doesn't have a really good, you know, anti-air suite, and my AA doesn't even really scream at the planes. So I'm in a situation where right here I'm not shooting the CV. I'm trying to finish off this low health target. Hey baby. CV catches me napping here, and I do eat a torpedo here. But what I'm looking at is this situation where I don't know, I can't see what these guys are doing. I know we've got points. I know we've got caps. So I'm in my head, I went, you know what? I'm gonna try to cap this. My Nagato, at this point, he's just gonna be kind of a sacrificial lamb. And you know, sounds cold, but you know, at this point, I'm kind of out of ships, and I got to do something about it. And you know, all it takes is me being able to survive. I'm not rushing out of the smoke right now, because I don't know. This Wichita may have circled back around, and you know, just be waiting for the opportunity as soon as this Nagato goes down that it's going to create issues for me. Normandy is on B-cap. That's going to slow down our points somewhat. 14 seconds though, I should be able to get this cap. Actually, it'll be longer than 14 seconds because the Nagato keeps getting reset. Okay, I do see the Wichita. He does have line of sight to me. I am gonna try to throw some shots out here on this guy. But the team is gonna start getting frustrated. Why haven't I killed this CV? Why haven't I killed this CV? And the issue is, I felt like I needed to secure this cap. Make sure that we had the option of winning relatively quickly on points, because we're at 900 points. That battleship's going to go down. That's going to cost us a whole bunch of points. So I'm starting to push up right now, and I mean, you can see the beating that this Nagato is taking. He does get a good shot off into the Implacable, but the Nagato is going down, and you see in the chat, you know, they don't understand what I'm trying to do. Because, I mean, the issue is, okay, there went our Nagato. This CV, he just took off with rocket planes. He's got a full squad and another 3 minutes to fly around and attack me. Now, I don't know where the Wichita is exactly, but I think that I can win on points. I just can't die in the next couple minutes. So, and you can see the way the points are ticking up right here. I'm gonna slow it down a little bit. Let me know what you think. Was it a... Should I have just rushed out, tried to kill the CV, tried to come back in cap? You're kind of curious what your thoughts are. My thoughts were, you know, if I did that, the Nagata was likely to die anyway because of the torpedo planes. And then I would have potentially a radar cruiser trying to zone me out of the cap, and you know, it'd be much longer for me to actually be able to win on points. This is gonna be, they don't even get a final drop. So that's the game. Let me know what you think, and I'll talk to you later. Have a good night.